Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Aaron Surrey here to open up the beautiful show here on this Tuesday evening. You can see behind me with those glowy skies with the sun setting behind Doak Campbell Stadium. They're lighting up with those really nice pink and purple colors. Currently 53 degrees under clear skies and winds calm, making for a really chilly night tonight. For the rest of the area, we're already below 50 degrees here in Quincy, 48 in Quincy, 54 in Donaldsonville, 53 in Perry at this hour. Current dew points are bone dry here with temperatures or dew point temperatures here in the 30s, even upwards in the upper 20s here over into southwest Georgia. Current local radar here shows also that dryness in the air with the lack of any kind of shower activity across the area. Now, few temperatures in store tonight across Tallahassee. Are you going to be traveling to the Wind Cave National Park here on the show, and then also the ACC Football Championship here against Louisville, all coming up on FSU Weather.
Good evening, Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Nico Sapienza.
And I'm student meteorologist Oceana Hayden, and we have a great show for you tonight on this Tuesday where we will be addressing those really cold temperatures we've been feeling, especially here in Tallahassee.
Yes, definitely. We are under a freeze warning. We're expected tonight to be our first freeze since March 21st. So it's going to be a pretty chilly night. Definitely get prepared for that if you have anything outside that needs to be protected tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely to keep an eye on, especially when you're in Florida. You might not think about these freezing warnings that we could get, but this extends all the way down to Gainesville, which is pretty interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, it definitely is. So anyone north of Gainesville, you're going to see these freezing conditions tonight, so definitely pay attention to that and take your precautions. But now we're going to send things off to the wall with Jackson.
Yes, we do have some pretty chilly conditions coming up. As we see over here, Doak Campbell Stadium, it's 53 right now, not too cold out there yet, but it will be coming soon in the coming days, tomorrow morning and into the days after. So let's take a look right now at our radar. We had the high pressure system was really driving out some of this colder air into our area, so we're pretty dry throughout our region, so nothing really to worry about rain-wise or anything like that. Take a look at our region for temperatures, though. 48 in Live Oak, already starting to cool down. Perry, 53, mainly around our area here in Tallahassee and in Leon County, 53 right here, and in Donaldsonville, 52 as well. Thomasville, 50 degrees as well. So pretty nice temperatures all around the board. Taking a look at some of our average temperature, we're pretty average for this time of year. Maybe a little bit chillier today. From that, so 60 degrees for the high today, and right on the mark for the low, about 45. Thankfully, we're nowhere near that 23 back in 1956. That is chilly. Glad it's not there, not 23 right now. Taking a look at those dew points, as I was saying earlier, that high pressure system is really bringing some drier air into our region. As you can see, dew points in 33, 37 as you get closer to Donaldsonville, 26. It is very dry out there, so make sure you got all your chapstick, all your lotion that you need to make sure you don't get dried out. Taking a look at the future satellite now. Not much to really talk about. There's no rain. You could see a passing cloud or two on Wednesday night and into Thursday. We will be having some rain coming this weekend that could put a damper onto any game day festivities as we get closer to the ACC Championship against Louisville. Take a look at tonight in Tallahassee, 33 degrees. Going to be really close to that freezing mark. As Nico was saying earlier, we haven't had a freeze in Tallahassee since March 21st, so it's going to be pretty chilly out there. We're going to get close to that freezing mark. The winds will be a little gusty, so we could get close. It could feel a little bit colder out there, but really tomorrow morning is when it's really going to feel the coldest. Taking a look at our area, 33 in Bainbridge, 34s. Everywhere is really throughout the 30s as we get more north, 32, a little bit colder, and down by the coast. Warms up a little bit, 39 in Carabel and Apalachicola. Take a look at tomorrow, though. It's going to be a beautiful day out there, so make sure to get out and enjoy it. 59 out there, and a little bit windy, so not much to worry about, but definitely pack a jacket, especially if you're going to be on campus all day. It's going to get really cold tomorrow night as well. Tomorrow's forecast, 59s, 58s all throughout the board. Pretty nice conditions. Taking a look at the week ahead, though, as I was saying earlier, those pretty damp conditions on the weekend. Could put a damper on some activities you may have. We are going to warm up a little bit, though, to 75 and 72. And then on Monday, some of that rain could still be lingering around. But now we're going to zoom out and take a look at Florida as a whole with Oceana.
Thanks, Jackson. So just to zoom out a little bit and see what the rest of the state is looking like. It's pretty dark right now, but earlier it was showing some gorgeous sunsets. It was pretty cloudy in Miami and Tampa, though, so it is a little bit cloudier in those areas. For Tallahassee, our current temperature is 54, but all across the board, we're looking high 60s in the south of Florida and 50s for the rest. So pretty mild temperatures as of right now, but those will drop, especially in the Panhandle, into tonight. In Miami right now, or tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, we are looking much warmer than we're going to see up in the Panhandle. I'm really jealous of these temperatures. 78 tomorrow, and Thursday is going to be 80 degrees in Miami, partly cloudy. Tampa is going to be seeing something similar, still quite warm. Our highs are going to be ranging from 65 to 81 in the next 3 days. The chances of rain will increase as we get towards the weekend. For our Orlando area, 67 is our high tomorrow, nice and sunny. Tomorrow is going to be an absolutely gorgeous day. For Central Florida and down in the south, it is going to be very sunny, mild temperatures, nothing really too cold in those areas. Here's when we start seeing some of those colder temperatures once we get towards the Panhandle and northern Florida. Jacksonville, we're looking at a high of 59 tomorrow. Very sunny though, it is going to be a gorgeous day as far as sun tomorrow for the entire state, 67 on Thursday. And for Pensacola, we're sitting at 60, 65. Our rain chances will increase in the weekend. For Central Florida is really the only area that is seeing some precipitation as of right now. Mostly South Florida and a little bit up towards Fort Myers. Naples, we are going to see some scattered showers into tonight and into tomorrow, but those rain chances for the northern part of Florida and Central Florida will likely increase as we get towards the weekend. Central Florida, Port Charlotte area is looking nice and dry as of right now. Right here on the Panhandle, very dry again, as I had mentioned. Really gorgeous dry temperatures, but definitely keep that lotion on you, as Aaron had mentioned. Over here at the radar, we're going to see that rain showers start to pull in on Thursday night. You can see that come through really far over there on the right of the screen. But over here in Tallahassee, Gainesville, really the whole state, it's going to look pretty nice tomorrow. Tonight in Florida, 33 in Tallahassee. That is absolutely freezing. We are the cold point of the entire state. We're looking 71 in the Keys, 46 in Pensacola, but again, Gainesville and Tallahassee are going to see the coldest temperatures tonight. And even tomorrow, we are going to be a high of 59 in Tallahassee. But now we're going to look at the southeast with Nico.
Yes, thank you, Oceana. We're definitely dealing with some really cold conditions around the entire southeast. You can even see Charlotte, North Carolina, you're at 44 right now. Nashville, Tennessee, you're already in the 30s at 39 degrees, and you're going to get to a hard freeze tonight. You're already well on your way there. We're looking at the southeast right now. You can see a few showers across southern Florida where the cold air has really gotten to, but anything all in the southeast, you're in a cool, dry air mass tonight, and that's going to be great for radiational cooling. Looking around the entire southeast, you can see the inner southeast is actually a little bit warmer where it's not quite as cool. Right now, the air mass hasn't quite been as strong there, but Nashville, you're at 38 degrees. The only place that's really warmer than average in the southeast right now is in Miami. Miami always tends to be the warm spot, and at 67 this evening, it is this evening as well. Looking at our current wind, you can see it's all coming out of the north or the northwest, and that's what's bringing in pretty cool and dry air, because any wind that's coming from the north and northwest, that's coming way up from the northern parts of the country, way up from Canada, then that's polar air that you're going to be dealing with, and that's not what you want to see unless you like the cold weather. You can see our weather map over the next few days. It stays cold Wednesday. As we head to Thursday, we can see our next system developing. As we get into Friday, that could approach Tallahassee. Depending on the strength of the system, how much sun we get ahead of it, we could potentially see severe weather. We will see heavy rain regardless of how much sunlight we get. The severe weather potential depends on how much instability we will get ahead of that, much like last week. But it's definitely possible. If you're heading up to Charlotte for the ACC championship, the weather's going to be messy on Friday. I know a lot of people are traveling Friday. Looking at our muggy cast though, you can see how dry it is. Our dew points are going to get to about 27 tomorrow morning, which is really, really dry air. But you can see on Thursday, humidity starts to work its way back north. You can see it to the west, see it to the south as well. Tallahassee's still dry on Thursday, but you can see where this is going to head as you head into Friday. Looking at Charlotte, though, I know a lot of people are traveling there. You won't be there for the 49-degree weather on Wednesday or the 24 or 27, but as you head this weekend, you won't be dealing with cold conditions, but it's going to be rainy. And I believe this game on Saturday, I believe it's at an outdoor stadium, so it could be a rain game. So definitely bring a poncho or something that you can stay to keep dry during this game if you're going to be attending on Saturday, because you don't want to be soaking the entire time. Nashville, it's going to be 22 degrees tonight with a hard freeze. Probably going to be your coldest day in a while as well. You start to see the rain on Friday. It's not going to impact you as much as other parts of the southeast, but it is going to warm up there as well. For Tampa, it's going to get really warm this weekend, actually near record warm values by Saturday. The rain stays north and west of there, though. As for New Orleans, the rain starts to affect you earlier, and you could see the heavy rain and severe weather potential as we head into this weekend as well. But now I'm going to pass things off to Jackson.
Thank you, Nico. And speaking of some of this cold weather, a place that's no stranger to this cold weather is southwestern South Dakota at the National Park, Wind Cave National Park. It's actually they get a lot of cold weather there, and we're going to take a look at it right now. First national park in the world to create and preserve underground features. These features are called box works, and they're also known as calcite formations. And only 95% of the world's discovered box work is in this wind cave in South Dakota. So if you want to go see some of this really cool box work, which you can see right behind me, but if you want to go see it in person, make sure to take a trip out just south of Rapid City, South Dakota, just about an hour south of there. So make sure if you're ever out in that area to take a look at the national park. Take a look at the highs today though, at the national park if you're out there in Custer, South Dakota. Highs got up to a 44 today, and the low temperature is going to be around 29. We don't got the data right now for the average, but it is pretty average for them this time of year, I would say. And current conditions right now in the cave, it is 32 degrees, and winds pretty windy. And actually gets pretty windy in the caves as well because of the isobaric temperature pressures inside the cave is lower than the environment outside the cave. You get all these winds rushing on through the cave, and that's part of why they call it Wind Cave. Taking a look at the region around the national park here in Pringle, 41. As we get more towards the east, Fairburn, 47, starts to warm up. And as you get into Creston, 48. But back here behind me, back towards the west, in Dewey, 37, it is pretty chilly out there. But no strangers to them. I'm sure they've had some really cold temperatures out there in South Dakota. Very dry conditions, too, as well. Dew points in the teens and almost in the single digits up here in Custer. 10 degrees. I'm sure those will start to drop as the night goes on. Taking a look at the current radar and satellite. As we saw from those dew points, pretty dry throughout the region, so no rain, no snow to worry about, and that can definitely be a pain. And looking into the future, we're not anticipating any rain. You could see a cloud or two, scatter cloud, if you take a trip out there to the park. So make sure it would be pretty nice conditions for you when you go into the caves. Take a look at our 4-day forecast. It's going to be pretty mild starting on Wednesday, and then really getting cold on Thursday, Friday. This low temperatures are going to be really cold. But now we're going to warm back up and go over to Tampa, Florida at the desk.
Thanks, Jackson. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and discuss sinkholes, and specifically one of them in Tampa at Busch Gardens, which I really wasn't aware of.
I wasn't aware of either. Of course, Busch Gardens being one of the biggest theme parks there across the Tampa Bay area, where employees discovered a sinkhole measuring 15 feet in diameter on November 18th. So that's quite a big sinkhole.
That's huge. An estimated of 2.5 million gallons of treated wastewater drained out through the sinkhole, which does not sound appetizing at all.
It might also kind of smelly too, right? With the wastewater there too. So don't go anywhere near there, right? Although you'll probably identify with the smell before you even get there, right? So of course the DEP are sampling the water on site, and they're monitoring the situation at Busch Gardens, of course, to see how it could actually affect any kind of theme park operations there.
Yeah, that is something that is really interesting and I hadn't heard of at all. One of the most sinkhole-prone states is actually Florida, but Texas, Alabama, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Pennsylvania are all prone to sinkholes as well.
That's right. And of course, Florida sees its heaviest rainfall normally during the summer times. We have those summertime thunderstorms and also hurricanes that could affect the state of Florida. And a lot has to do with the erosion of limestone, which is pretty brittle, that encompasses much of the terrain under Florida for the most part.
Yeah, that was definitely something I learned a lot about when I was younger, I feel like. And now seeing it in real time is pretty scary to think that all that rain in those hurricane seasons could lead to that just outside of your house.
Right, so that's why it's always good to be vigilant and try not to put a bunch of water in one spot, try and disperse the water because as we saw here, the pipe actually created from the sewage water created that sinkhole.
Yeah, so this graphic shows a few ways to spot sinkholes, whether it's on your property, on the building. These are definitely things to look out for, just so you're aware.
That's right, so you want to make sure that you stay aware of that and take precautions if necessary. But now we'll pass things off to the wall with Jackson, talk more about the tropics as we talk more about the water, right? More water.
Yes, we are getting towards the end of the tropical season here in the Atlantic. We only have about, we got like 2 more days until tropical weather is done with. On November 30th, we'll be done. And taking a look at the current conditions out there right now, we're not really seeing much. So as we're winding down, we're not going to have a surprise, hopefully won't have a surprise storm. As you can see, a lot of rain, a lot of moisture going across the Florida Straits right there through Key West and throughout most of Florida and then heading on north. So it's not looking like any tropical developments are going to be in our area. And as you can see, one of the main stories this summer we all were talking about is that how hot the waters really are. And as you can see, it's still persisting. We're almost to December, and it's still, these waters in the Caribbean are still very warm waters. So you still will get, you could have a chance for some thunderstorms down there if you're visiting for the holidays. Make sure to be aware for that. Taking a look, so this season we made it all the way to Tammy. So we made it pretty far down the list, not our longest we've had or the most tropical storms we had in the season, but it was a pretty active season for the Atlantic this year. Taking a look at some fun facts, hurricane season ends November 30th, which is Thursday this week, and then NHC will stop issuing outlooks on the 30th, but will issue special outlooks if needed, so make sure to keep an eye on that if they do put out a special outlook. But now we're going to take things back with Nico.
Yes, thank you, Jackson. We're finally almost to the end of hurricane season, which is going to be in just 2 days. So hopefully we won't see anything. I don't expect anything to be surprising because it's going to be very cold, even though the warm water temperatures are there. But looking around nationally at the country, you can see Boulder, Colorado has a beautiful sunset. Out in Washington, it's actually warmer in Washington right now than it is in Massachusetts and Michigan. Michigan and Detroit, you can see some snow on the ground if you look closely, because you did have some snow come through your area with a lake effect band last evening. But looking around the country, you can see the east is the coolest area of the country right now. Chicago is only at 20 and will be in the teens any minute. Here in Tallahassee, it's 53. It's not that cold, but still going to be very cold for here in Florida. All around the Northeast, though, this is your coldest area of the season so far, and you can definitely be prepared for that. If you know anyone that lives in the Northeast, tell them to stay bundled up. Out here in Texas, Oklahoma, you have some of the warmer conditions, warm spots in the country right now. LA, California, and Miami, as always, is one of the warm spots of the country. Looking at our dew points, you're seeing dry air dominating across the entire country. 33-degree dew point here in Tallahassee, which will get lower throughout the night. But even the highest dew points I can find outside Miami are in the mid-40s, 44 in San Francisco. You have dry air across the entire country right now. Some of the dew points are in the single digits with an 8-degree dew point in Chicago. That is extremely dry air, and you can see with that dry air we have nothing really going on around the entire country except for a few lake effect bands of snow in the Northeast. If you're going to be living, well, not living, but if you know anyone out here on Lake Erie, tell them to definitely stay aware because lake effect snow bands can be relatively intense and can drop a lot of snow very quickly. Your rainfall forecast up here, it's really going to be the equivalency of rain because you're going to be seeing snow. But the real story here is going to be Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi as we head into Thursday and Friday. You're going to be dealing with the next system, and you could have a few inches of rain on Thursday into Friday, and that's really going to continue into the weekend. Our SPC outlook, though, for today, we're not seeing anything really, even in the way of thunderstorms around the country. Tomorrow you start to see some storms in the desert southwest and in Texas, but nothing severe is expected tomorrow. As for Thursday, this is a day to watch because there's a slight risk of storms centered right over Houston, Texas, which is a major metro area. So if you have family and friends there, let them know to, hey, pay attention to the weather for Thursday. And this system will move east into Friday, so it could be of our concern as we head into Friday. Our temperature outlook for 6 to 10 days from now, it's going to be warm across much of the country, but here in the southeast, as typical for an El Nino, is going to be cooler than average. Around the country tomorrow, though, it's going to be pretty chilly, except for your warming up in Texas and in the southwest. But now I'm going to pass things off to Aaron.
Thanks, Nico. We'll let you go more in depth with the cold air snap here across the southeast as we have those chillier temperatures in store tonight across Tallahassee. In fact, we're actually under a freeze warning across much of the Gulf Coast here, especially in the locations along I-10 from about near Baton Rouge all the way down I-10 to about the Jacksonville area, and then kind of surrounding that here, especially on the Florida Peninsula, North and Central Florida. We have that frost advisory in effect because we have those cool temperatures that might get down to near freezing here locally, and then perhaps just above freezing and in the shade in some spots here where we have the frost advisories. Now, the reason we have the cold snap is because we have these cold fronts moving through the area right now. So cold front number 1 was down to the south, and that moved through over the weekend here and brought a lot of that rainfall over on Sunday. That has since pushed down to the south, except now we have an Arctic front coming in from the north, and that'll come in and bring another shot of cooler air tonight. And that's what's going to bring our cooler temperatures down to near freezing tonight and then also tomorrow night as well. So it wouldn't be surprising if they continue that. The Weather Service continues that freeze warning into tomorrow night as well. Now, current temperatures right now across here are in the 50s. So you know it's already 53 degrees by the 6 p.m. hour. You know it's going to be chillier by the time we get into the wee hours of tomorrow morning here. It's already 45 degrees in Atlanta as well. So very, very chilly here across the southeast. And current dew points are also bone dry, which is what's going to allow these temperatures to collapse and fall down to the freezing mark. So it's actually going to feel pretty chilly outside with these dew points in the 20s and 30s across the region. And as I said, tonight's forecast will go down into the 30s across much of the Panhandle and Big Bend, as well as into Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi as well. And with that, radiational cooling, we'll continue to expect these overnight as well. So some cold weather safety tips. You want to make sure you wear the signs of hypothermia as well. So in case you're confusion, shivering, and difficulty speaking here, in case you do have hypothermia. But Oceana, what's looking like outside with the lifestyle?
It is looking gorgeous actually right now. We have some really pretty weather here, Aaron. There is it was gorgeous sunsets earlier when I first looked at this. Right now it is getting dark as the sun sets a little bit earlier now here in Tallahassee and around the area. Right now our Tallahassee airport and really all of the airports, all of the major airports here in the United States are looking at no delays like we have shown in the national. We have really dry weather and really no severe storms coming through right now. That is something to look out for in the future, but as of right now, we're looking at no delays in the area. Our pollen report shows low pollen for all of the accounts, but really, I still feel the effects of it from weeks before. Our dog walk forecast shows that it is going to be frigid in the morning here in Tallahassee. So if you're going to walk your dog, try to make him wait just a little bit longer. 7 a.m. is looking really cold. 9 a.m. is warming up slightly, but your best bet is going to be 11 a.m. It is going to hit 50, and it's going to be really nice and sunny at that point. For our women's basketball game here at the FSU Tucker Center, it's going to be 62 on Thursday and partly cloudy. So this will be inside anyways, but just so you know, on your walk there, might need a jacket, but really not too cold. For our volleyball in TCU, Arkansas, it is going to be cloudy and 48 degrees. So definitely, if you are attending that game, bring a jacket on your way. 48 degrees is quite cold, and that would be on Friday. Friday as well, our soccer team, our amazing soccer team actually, is playing in North Carolina. We have 55 degrees and cloudy on that day. Now our super exciting game, FSU versus Louisville, is going to be 64 degrees and cloudy, but like we mentioned earlier, there is that chance of rain. So if you have a rain jacket or anything that you could bring to the outdoor stadium, that might come in handy on Saturday. Our beach cam shows a really pretty sunset, 72 degrees, mostly sunny, but look at that sunset. You really can't beat it. I would love to be there right now. The beach forecast for tomorrow, really cold. I I really wouldn't recommend going to the beach tomorrow, but it would be a really nice time to have a picnic or go out and bundle up in a blanket on the beach. That's always pretty. It will be really sunny tomorrow as well. Our Recplex shows 53 degrees and clear right now. Pretty chilly here in Tallahassee, but nothing too crazy like we will be seeing tonight. Our low tonight is going to be 33, Thursday 33, a low again, but those thunderstorms and that rain is really going to be happening this weekend, so definitely keep your eye out for Friday and Saturday. But I'm going to pass things back to Jackson for one last look at the local.
Thanks so much, Ocean. I'm really hoping that rain doesn't put a damper on too many game day festivities on Saturday. That's going to be a really exciting game to watch. If we're doing anything here in Tallahassee, just make sure to keep an eye on that. Now, taking one more look at the local. Doak Campbell Stadium, sun already went down. You can already start seeing some stars out there. It's pretty clear sky, so it's going to be a great time to go do some stargazing with your friends out on Landis. But definitely might want to bring a blanket or some hand warmers because it's 53 right now, but it is going to get pretty chilly tonight, as we've been talking about. So, as I was saying, no clouds, no rain. So, if you want to get out there tonight, go have some fun. It's going to be a great night to do it. You could see a scatter shower or two across the I-1075 corridor, but for most of us here in the Panhandle region, it would be pretty dry. Taking a look at the current temperatures around the board, pretty nice temperatures, pretty mild. I've really been enjoying some of these more mild temperatures. It's really when we start getting closer to those 32s and then dipping past 30 into the 20s is when it gets a little too cold for me personally. But 53, beautiful here in Tallahassee, Quincy 46, and Thomasville 50 degrees as well. Dew points super dry out there. I know I've been carrying my Carmex around with me all day today. Those lips have been getting chapped. Like almost every hour it feels like they've been getting chapped. So I've definitely make sure, if you're just like me, make sure to keep it on you and always be prepared. Taking a look at the future going into Wednesday. As we saw before, not much on the radar. Could see a passing cloud or two, so it could make it a little bit chillier. We could see some more wind, that wind chill in the morning especially could make it a little bit chilly. So if you're walking to class, make sure to dress warm. Take a look at it tonight in Tallahassee. If you got any IM sports going on tonight over at the Sportsplex, dress warm. I know you're going to be exercising, playing flag football or soccer. 33 though, really nice conditions out there if you like the cold. Taking a look at our area here in Tallahassee for tonight's forecast. It's 32, Thomasville. We will get close to below freezing. 36 is the forecast right now in Tallahassee. Would expect that to be a little bit colder overnight, and especially in tomorrow morning when you wake up. It's really where we're going to see the coldest temperatures here in Tallahassee. And then for tomorrow, beautiful day, mostly sunny. You could see a passing cloud. Really nice day. Make sure to take advantage of it before all that rain comes in this weekend. 59 degrees. It's going to be a really nice day, and a really nice day across the rest of the region. 59s all along the coast, and as we get a little bit more north, you could see a little bit chillier, but still really nice conditions out there. Take a look at the week ahead. 75 on Saturday, 90% chance of rain. So definitely want to be prepared for that. Bring any ponchos if you're going to be tailgating here in Tallahassee, or just moving indoors. Way simpler. And then taking a look at Monday as well. 69 is the high, so we get a little bit colder after the rain moves on through. So now we're going to go with Nico and Aaron. Aaron, what are you guys thinking about the ACC championship this weekend?
Yes, thank you, Jackson. I think we're going to win the game. It's going to be close, though, but I know it's going to be a pretty close game, but we do have to play in the rain, which could be an obstacle.
That's right. However, we were able to overcome that rain across the course as we played in the swamp this past weekend, and we prevailed from that. So we'll see how we go against Louisville here in Charlotte this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely you can always follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU Weather.
That's right. Also, don't forget to like us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And you can always watch us live on YouTube like you are right now at youtube.com/FSU Weather as this cold weather does progress this week.
Right, and also follow us on Instagram. Send us your favorite pictures as well on Instagram. And also don't forget TikTok as well.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm student meteorologist Nico Sapienza.
I'm student meteorologist Aaron Saray. Have a great night.